Sean, Maria, Lily, Bernie. Well, listen, you all, this class is the exact class you need to learn how to do that. The exact class. I'm being legit. Marvin, who you're about to learn from, has coached this to thousands of people, thousands. And you all are here at the right place at the right time. Everybody put that in the chat. Put the right place at the right time. Just put that in the chat for me. The right place at the right time. Listen, my name is Michael. I'm your co-host this evening. And listen, I'm just here to make sure you all have a good time. Just make sure you learn a lot. But before we get started, there's a few things I want you all to really grasp. Number one, I encourage you all to get a pen and paper ASAP, y'all. Get a pen and paper ASAP because this pen and paper that you have, this pen and paper is going to be your wealth book tonight. It's going to be your wealth book. Marvin's going to drop out so many gems, so much game. You're going to be like writing so fast. You're going to be like, Marvin, slow down. But Marvin, he always over delivers. So after you get a pen and paper that you can take notes with, I just want you to comment the word done in the chat. Comment the word done in the chat when you have that. All right. Number two, I want you all to turn off all distractions tonight, y'all. Tell the kids, go watch a little TV for a bit. Go ahead, turn your phone on Do Not Disturb. Turn the TV off in the background because listen, we want your focus right here because we know just from doing this with thousands of people, those that lock in, those that take this seriously, they invest their time. And those that treat this class like they paid thousands of dollars to be here, y'all, this is totally free. But those people that really show up and act like they paid thousands for this, get the best results. Can we act tonight that you guys paid thousands of dollars for this class? Listen, when you pay thousands of dollars something, you're going to show up and you're going to pay attention. Am I right? just comment yes in the chat if you get what I'm saying. So listen, I want you all to lock in tonight because this class could change everything. It really could. But lastly, I'll say this. There's somebody in your life right now who needs this message that you're about to hear. I don't want you to hoard this information, you all. The link that you received via text, via email, there's somebody in your life right now that needs this information, and you could be a catalyst for change. You're like, Michael, that's a pretty bold statement, y'all. I know, but trust me. So what I want you to do is copy the link you received via email, via text, and I want you to send it to like 5 people. Just text it to them, say, hey, get in the room. I got my friend Marvin's hosting a free class on money real quick. Just send it to them. I promise you never know whose life you could change, whose lives you can change just through a simple text. Simple text. You could go on. You realize you could go on to help somebody create a financial legacy. You could go on to help somebody go and create more money for their family, more freedom for their family, just because you share this class. So listen, you all, I'm pumped and excited that you all are going to be sharing that. You're going to experience this. I'm ready to welcome Marvin. I don't know about you all, but Marvin Mitchell, who you all are about to hear from tonight, y'all. Number one financial educator in the nation, I believe. I truly believe. Number one financial educator in the nation because he truly cares for the people he teaches and he works for. Marvin, if you don't know who he is, Hall of Fame financial advisor, you all. Hall of Fame financial advisor. Not many people can carry that title. You know that, right? One of the top financial advisors in the nation is coming before you to drop game. He spent decades learning this information. But not only is Marvin a financial advisor that's in the Hall of Fame, but he's built 6 and 7, 8-figure businesses. He's taught other people how to build 6 and 7, 8-figure businesses. He's helped people go on to build legacies for their family, set up their family trust, become their own bank. He's going to show you all this tonight. Does that get you all pumped up and excited? Just put I'm excited in the chat if you're ready to learn from this financial guru, Marvin Mitchell. And listen, I don't even need to talk anymore. If you're ready, just put excited in the chat. Drop a fireball. I don't even know. Just drop something in the chat. Let them know you're ready. But listen, I'm going to go ahead and welcome up to the stage my friend, my mentor, my partner, Mr. Marvin Mitchell. Marvin, are you
All
ready for tonight?
right. Man, great introduction, Michael. I am ready. I just landed in Phoenix. I was wondering if I was going to be able to be on time. I just checked into my hotel room maybe about 5 minutes before the class started. So I'm fresh off a plane, Phoenix, Arizona right now. Anybody from Arizona? And I'm ready to go. I'm ready to go. I'm here tonight for actually, I talk about the fact that, you should always want to train. You should always want to grow. That's where I'm at right now. I am in a weekend conference with some of the top financial advisors in the country right now. We're just sharpening our skills, learning from one another. I'm presenting. So I am in my hotel. And as soon as this finished, I'm going out to learn. So I'm very excited about that. Um, by the way, Rep your city before we start. What city are you from? Put it in the chat. I'm from St. Louis, and I also have a house in Atlanta, so I'm back and forth between St. Louis and Atlanta. We got New York, we got New Jersey, Atlanta, Memphis, Tennessee, love Philly, Mississippi, the DMV, Washington, D.C., LA in the building, North Carolina, Baltimore. We got an Arizona, Detroit, there's a STL, Chicago in the building, Ohio, Houston. So as you can see, we are all around the world right now. Illinois, Newtown, Augusta, Georgia, um, Covington. So we all over. We all over today. So I love it. Um, so about my background, I wasn't born with a silver spoon. In fact, I didn't have a lot of money growing up. It was really heartbreak that drove me into the financial industry and tragedy that drove me into the industry. Um, See, we didn't have much. We grew up in the hood, St. Louis, the ghetto, if you want to call it. My mom had me at a very young age. She was in some relationships didn't work out, and we had to flee, and we ended up shelters. My grandmother really pulled us in and really helped us to kind of recover. One of the things she would always tell me is that, Marvin, do never let the circumstances of your life dictate the outcome of your life. You can always change the direction of where you are. And she would always tell me that you can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. She was a strong, independent woman. And I really believe because of the influence that my grandmother played in my life, I am the first person in my family to graduate from college. I graduated from a school in Illinois called SIUE, and then I moved on to Texas to attend law school. Now, while I was in law school, I got news, unfortunately, that my grandmother, her name was Betty, was sick with cancer. And I moved back to St. Louis to help take care of my grandmother. And it was really at this point that it changed my life because my grandmother made me her durable power of attorney, which means I was now responsible for looking after her finances. But problem happened. She told her advisor that she needed to be safe, that she could not afford to lose any of her money because she was sick and she wanted to make this money last. She didn't want to have to go on Medicare and feel like she was a burden to the family. Unfortunately, that advisor ignored her advice and put her into really aggressive funds. She ended up losing 50% of her money when the stock market crashed. So it's half of it. She had no long-term care insurance. So she spent the rest of her money on medical expenses. So she passed away on Medicaid without much life insurance, without no long-term care. So she ended up passing away broke, feeling like she was a burden. Now, although we didn't feel that she was a burden because she was my grandmother. She felt that she was a burden. So when she passed away, it really bothered me. And I wanted to do everything that I could to make sure that in my grandmother's memory that I learned everything about finances because I wanted to be a generational curse breaker. I wanted to be somebody who could change, that could change the dynamics of what our family had been through. Are there any generational curse breakers in the room today? Somebody write generational curse breaker if you are going to be that first person, that first millionaire, that first person is going to break through in your family. And that's what I wanted to be. I studied, I learned everything that I could, I read books, and I started my career. I started my career at a financial company. You may have heard of it, Edward Jones. So I started off at Edward Jones. I was at Edward Jones for about 5 to 6 years. Thought that I would never leave the company because I was drinking the Kool-Aid. They were telling me all of the financial jargon, such as "hang in there, you're in it for the long haul. It's only a paper loss." I mean, I was brainwashed with that particular philosophy. Right now, here's the deal. About 5 years into my career, one of my first clients came to me and said, "Marvin, I cannot afford to lose this money." She was about 64 years old. I still remember. She said, "I can't afford to lose this money." I said, all of the financial jargon. I said, "Don't worry about it. Hang in there. You're in it for the long haul. It's only a paper loss." And she looked me in the eye and she said, "I don't think you understand. Cannot afford to lose any of this money. I just retired. I don't want to see my money go down." So I ended up making this lady's portfolio safer. Now, the stock market happened to crash a week following the day that I made her safe. So you would think that I would get accolades, acknowledgement. Nope, I got reprimanded. The company was upset that even though we kept this lady from losing half of her money, that the firm got less revenue because we put it into products that didn't make the firm a lot of revenue. It was really at that point that I realized it was at that point that I realized these bigger companies, they cared more about what was happening in their bottom line than actually what happened with that client's account. That rubbed me the wrong way. Now here I am making well over six figures. In my what mid 20s at that time. I was about 26 years old, but I had to leave. I said, I cannot do that because what I found out was that the financial system was just an extension of the educational system that teaches you to go to school, get student loans, saving your 401k, keep saving in it and don't touch it until you're 65. Live below your means until you're 65. And then finally, when you turn 65 and you're old enough to retire, then you can start enjoying your life and taking money out of your account. And oh, yeah, by the way, at that point, we're going to tax you on every dollar that you take out. And most likely, we're going to raise the taxes because we're in a lot of debt. So tax rates are going to go up. And what I realized is that the financial system was a direct reflection of that teaching. But here's what I did. It didn't sit right with me. So I wanted to get more knowledge. So I started my own company, but here's what I did that's even more important: paid for mentorship. I wanted to find out what were millionaires and multimillionaires and even one billionaire, what were they doing differently than what we were taught to do? And I will tell you this: they were not overfunding their 401ks. They were not rushing to pay off a house. They were not waiting until they were 60 years old before they can even touch their money without a penalty. No, they were not doing any of those things. You know what they were doing? They were leveraging their money. They were learning how to become their own bank. They were utilizing life insurance. They were making their money work 3 to 4 times off the same dollar. You see, they told me something that stuck with me. They said, there's a reason why 70% of people run out of money in retirement before they pass away, because they're following the same advice that have kept too many people going down the wrong path. One person told me that, think about it, Social Security, according to the Social Security Administration, they said that by 2034, Social Security may not even be around, or it might be dramatically different from the way that we know Social Security. People might get a pay cut, or the age might be extended. They said, look around at pensions. Pensions were around for my mom's generation and for my grandmother's generation, but pensions are not going to be around for the next generation. Pensions are already going away. Most people don't have a pension. See, in the past, you can work the same company for 40 years, get a pension and a gold watch, get Social Security, and you were fine. But what's happening right now is people, there's no such thing of a three-legged stool anymore. There's no such thing of a pension, Social Security, and a good 401k. Now pensions are going away. Social Security is not promised. And then the one thing you did have, which is the 401k, you're going to get taxed out you're going to get taxed a lot. And not only that, if the stock market declines, you can lose, just like my grandmother did, 30 to 40% of your money. Somebody say, I need a new way. Type new way in the chat. New way in the chat. Yep, most people canceled the pensions and paid it out lump sum because they didn't want to help you to manage your portfolio anymore. We need a new way, and that is why I am here today to teach you that I started following a new way, and it helped make me a multimillionaire. I started teaching my mentees a new way, and many of them were able to not wait until they're 65 to retire, but many of them were able to retire early. Many of my retired clients were able to minimize their taxation and get more income in their retirement stages and pay less taxes. This is what I'm talking about, a new way. And this is what I'm going to help you to get started on thinking about today. Now, I had slides prepared for you to tell you my story, and I was going to go through all of those slides to tell you my story. But for the sake of being direct, I am going to skip past a lot of my story. I kind of just told it all. What I will do is I'm going to go straight to the content. Is that okay if I start just give you just straight fire today to make sure that we take advantage of every little minute that we have today? All right. Okay. We about to come with it, you all. Just so that you know that I'm not joking. I mean, I'll show you the slides, but I'm just going to go through it word by word. I am an 18-year Hall of Fame advisor, top five finalist for Advisor of the Year. I've built and scaled three multi-million-dollar businesses. I've helped people generate millions of dollars. I've helped coach a lot of people. But my goal for you today is I want to guide you towards financial freedom using the power of leverage to grow your income. Many testimonials, won't go through all of those. You can look me up if you want to. But if you stick with me to the end of today, I'm going to help you to at least see if we can get you some of the same results, right? So this webinar is for people, if you're tired of the old ways of financial planning, if you're longing for financial peace of mind, driven to create a solid financial future, if you dream of independence, you're ready to explore new ways to make your money, and if you want to protect the money that you've accumulated, this is for you. Again, I'm not going to go through all of this. This is me growing up. I told you I grew up in St. Louis. This is my grandmother, Betty. I told you her story all the way. This is me graduating from college. Talked about my early career in Wall Street already. This was a turning point in my life when I knew the power of goal setting and I wrote checks to myself. That is one of the things that I do recommend for all of you. Know the power of setting goals. Know the power of writing down your goals, because I was broke as a joke when I did this. I had no more. I had about $80 to my name when I did this, and it really helped me. And I also believed in the power of investing in mentorship. I paid one of my mentors $55,000 in a year, and that really helped me to learn and to change my mind frame about what it takes to be successful. But manifestations are real, you all. I've been on the stage with Russell Brunson. I've gotten $1 million a day awards. This is Myron Golden, one of my mentors. Anybody know who Myron Golden is? This is one of my mentors. This is where I got his coveted $5 million in a day award. I'm still the highest. As far as one of Myron's mentees, I still have produced the most money in one day in the history of his students. But here I am with Myron, TD Jakes. I was able to bring TD Jakes on my stage, Grant Cardone. I've been on the Breakfast Club with Charlemagne, and that was pretty cool. Here I am interviewing Magic Johnson, Shaq, etc. So I'm on TV. You know, which is all great, all great. But what's important to me, David Shan's interview, I was elected to the Hall of Fame. Here I am right here in 2021. And what that means is I was voted on by my peers in the industry and nominated to receive this Hall of Fame award. I was the youngest person to ever receive this award and the second Black person ever to receive this award. Um, so anyway, I just skipped way too far. What am I doing here? Here we go. All right, perfect. So let me get to the content. I ain't gonna go over all of that. House. Oh, I do want to talk about this. This is really great. Why do I want you to get rich? Why do I want you to be financially successful? Not just so that you can regain your freedom, but you can do cool things like I've been able to do. I've been able to donate over $300,000 to college scholarships. Place at the right time. Oops. Wait, there's some video is playing. Hold on. What is that? Really great. Hold on, you all. Because let me see what's going on. All right, sorry about that. It was something in my background. I had to get that off. I'm good now. But this is you all. I've been able to give over $300,000 in college scholarships. I've been able to donate. My again, I told you my grandmother passed away from cancer. I've been able to donate to the cancer associations. My one of my aunts had a kidney problem. I've been able to donate the kidney. So the differences of giving back to the community, that is what I love doing, and I'm able to do that. So it's really a blessing. But what I really want to do today, my goal is to help to create 200 passive income millionaires that make their money multiply. These individuals whose passive income surpasses their living expenses while increasing their net worth. Now, if that's you, I want to see you put in the comments, that's me. If you want to be one of those 200 people, I'm gonna have to increase that goal because I've already helped over 100 people. But that was my initial purpose when I started off. Absolutely. I love it. I love it. We got some hungry people in the room today, some people that want to make a difference in the world. And I want to give you hope. Why do I want to give you hope? Because I know it's possible. If it was possible for me, it's possible for you. You just need the right guidance. You need the right mentorship. You need to be around the right environment. You need to be around the right people. But I'm telling you, you are the head and not the tail. You are a lender and not a borrower. You are above and not beneath. You can do all things, like my grandmother used to say, through Christ who strengthens you. You got the power to do it. All you have to do is be around. See, we were meant for abundance. I want you all to understand that. We were meant for abundance, right? Not scarcity. We were meant for more than enough, overflowing, pressed down, shaken together, not a little, right? So we have to get to the point where the first thing you have to do is you have to believe. You got to believe that this is for you because it is for you. You got to believe that it's for you. And none of you know that it's for you because I believe that you know it's for you, right? As a man thinks in his heart, so is he. Death and life is in the power of the tongue, right? Give me 1 second, you all. This is live, by the way. I want to make sure I charge my computer so it doesn't die on you at the wrong part. So give me 1 second. This is not a recorded webinar. I am with you right now as we speak. All right. All right. Plus, it's September, you all. You know what that means? It's Virgo season. It's Virgo season, and I am a Virgo. I got a birthday coming up. I'm about to turn 40 years old, so the big 40, can't believe it. You know, I don't feel 40, but I'm about to be 40, you all. So that means I gotta give it to y'all right. Football season is coming up. You right. Everything is good. We good. Football season, Virgo season, everything. All right. So let me go ahead and share some information with y'all. So I'm gonna talk about the 5 key levers that I've discovered that I learned from my millionaire friends and that I have been able to incorporate into my own business. Number one, the power of leveraging life insurance to become your own bank. That is what I am known for. Improving personal and business credit is the second lever. Number three, we got to learn to build or acquire a profitable business, whether we like it or not. The tax breaks go to the business owner, not to the employee. Number four, we need to learn how to create passive income by investing in assets that's going to produce you with income. What does passive income mean? It's income that you work hard for one time and then it keeps coming over and over and over and over again instead of active income where if you don't work, you don't get paid. So we want to switch that active income to more passive income, and then we want to protect all of those assets with a trust. That's extremely important. We got to learn how to protect those assets with a trust because we want to protect ourselves from lawsuits. We want to make sure that we pass on generational wealth to our next generation without the government taking most of the money. So I'm going to focus on, I'm not going to have time in today's short webinar to give you all 5 levers, although I will show you how to get that at the end of today's meeting. But I'm going to focus my time today on at least the first lever where I'm going to show you how to leverage life insurance to become your own bank. If that's all you get from this free webinar today, I'm giving you thousands of dollars worth of value. I'm teaching you some things that you probably were never taught before. I'm explaining it to you in a very simple and easy to understand way. And I'm going to show you exactly what I did. So let's start off with the private reserve strategy. This is what I call the wealth creation fund. And we're going to go ahead and talk about that right now. This is going to change your life. I'm telling you, this information I'm about to give you, it changed my life. I know it's going to change your life if you pay attention, but here are the rules. I want you to participate. So I'm going to be asking you some questions in just a second. When I ask you those questions, it doesn't matter if you know the right answer or not. I want you to participate. Fair enough? Even if you don't know the answer, I want you to participate. Action takers, I've learned action takers are money makers. If you're an action taker, the chances of your success happening is going to be much greater. But those of you who just sit on the sidelines, you tend to always sit on the sideline. All right. So here's the thing, you all. There are three different types of people when it comes to money. Three different types of people. You have your debtor, your saver, and your wealth creator. You need to understand all three. This is what the debtor does. The debtor is going to go into debt and they spend their life attempting to get out of debt. And then, as soon as they get out of debt or get close to it, the bills come up. Something unexpected happens. So, what happens? They go into debt again and then they spend their life trying to get out of debt. This is called the hamster wheel, the rat race. One step forward, two steps back. This is where the debtor is truly slave to the lender and they feel pressure. They may even be having bill collectors calling if they get too far behind. But what they're doing is they're robbing from their future because when they're getting this debt, it's not debt that's making them rich, it's debt that's getting them poor. And they just want to get out of debt. In fact, many people feel like if I can just be debt free, if I can just be debt free, and if I just didn't have to worry about debt, I would be great. I will be free if I can just not have debt. But here's the problem with that. Even if you became debt free, and if that was your only goal, guess what? You're still at zero. The black line is a zero line. There are homeless people on the street that are still that don't have debt. But that doesn't mean they're in a better financial situation than you. Why? Because they don't have assets. So we need to move from a debtor, but we don't just want to survive. We want to thrive. Somebody write the word thrive in the chat. We're not looking to just survive. We're not looking to just pay off our debt. We're looking to get some money and some assets that's going to give us true financial freedom. Why? Why do we want true financial freedom? Because the quicker you get to your dreams, the longer you get to live them. We're not trying to take the 30 to 40-year pathway to financial security. I want it now. I want it as quick as possible. Okay? So, the second person is the saver. So, what does the saver do? The saver, they're going to just save, 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 save. And guess what? Then they're going to pay cash. They're going to save, 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 and then they're going to pay cash. Now, the saver is in a better position than the debtor because at least they're not stressed out, with all of the red being negative. But guess what? Every single time that the saver spends down their cash, they're going back close to zero. They're going back to that same line of zero. When they spend their cash, they're losing what I call opportunity cost. What is opportunity cost? It's the money that they could have earned had they not spent their cash. If I had $100,000 and I kept my $100,000, I'm making interest on $100,000. But if I have 100,000 and I spend 40,000, I'm only making interest on 60,000, right? So I'm losing the forward momentum of my money, and I'm still stressed because you know what some of you do? You make more money and you spend more. So you never really even see the benefits of being a saver. And then there is the third person. This is what I want you to be. Somebody write wealth creator in the chat. Wealth creator. I want you to be a wealth creator. A wealth creator never stops the forward momentum of their money. Their money only goes forward, up, 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 up. They never stop the forward momentum. Therefore, they enjoy the power of compound interest. This is the eighth or ninth wonder in the world, the power of compound interest. Well, how do they continue to get compound interest even though they still have to spend, even though they still have to buy things? Because when they buy, they don't go into bad debt to do so. When they buy, they don't spend their cash that they've accumulated. When they buy, they borrow against themselves. Their money continues to grow as if they never touched it. They borrow and leverage against their own money, and then they pay themselves back. Again, this is very important, you all. I want y'all to understand this. They're going to borrow against their own money, and then they're going to pay themselves back. They borrow, and then they're going to pay themselves back. And what's so great about that, Betty, I see your question in the chat. What's so great about that, while they're borrowing and paying themselves back, they're not paying any taxes on that. No capital gain taxes, no taxes when they use the money. They have completely saved hundreds of thousands of dollars in taxation. Why? Because a loan is tax free and they're borrowing against themselves. So therefore, no capital gain taxes. So I'm going to give you a test. So let's just say hypothetically, we're just talking about money in the bank. Let's just say I have $100,000 in the bank in cash and I don't touch it, but it's earning me 5%. 1 year later, how much money do I have? Got $100,000 earning me 5%. I want everybody to comment. This is very important. 1 year later, how much money do I have in the bank? Got 100,000 earning me 5%. Everybody write it in the chat. Remember, this is money that's in the bank earning me 5%. 1 year later, how much do I have? And if you're wrong, I love it. At least you guessed. Now I want you to understand. I want you to think about this strategically, though. If I got 100,000 and 1 year later I earn 5%, how much do I have? It has to be more than 100,000 because I already had 100,000. It couldn't be 500. That couldn't work because how did I go from 100,000 to only $500? Okay. Okay. Most of you all got it. You're right. It's 105,000. 105,000. Now somebody made a good point. Yes, it's 105,000, but technically it's really not 105,000 because you do have to pay taxes on that 5,000. So you do have to pay capital gain taxes, or you have to pay the dividend taxes. So really, you don't even have 105,000. Maybe you got 103, but we're going to go with 105,000 just to keep it simple. Okay. Now, if I got $100,000 and I spent 30,000, I only have 70 left. Do I still have $105,000 the next year because I had the money in cash, but I spent 30,000? So do I still have $105,000 the next year? Yes or no? No, you can't, right? Because I spent 30,000. Okay. Now let's transition into the wealth creation fund. Remember, we're wealth creators now. So I have $100,000 earning me 5%. And if I don't touch it, 1 year later, how much money do I have? Same thing. I'm a wealth creator. I got $100,000 earning me 5%. 1 year later, how much money do I have? Write it in the chat. Okay. Yep. You all still got it. 105,000. Nothing changed. I didn't touch it. It earned me 5%. I got 105. Now, one more example. I got $100,000 earning me 5% in my wealth creation fund. But this time I borrow $30,000 against my money. 1 year later, how much money do I have in my wealth creation fund now? So again, I got $100,000 earning me 5%, but this time I borrowed 30,000. 1 year later, how much do I have in my wealth creation fund? Allie, I see you. Good to see you, Allie. Got $100,000 earning me 5%, but this time I borrowed $30,000. 1 year later, how much do I have? I'm loving it. I'm loving the answers. You all keep the answers flowing. When you think about things, it helps you get it quicker. All right. All right. I'm about to give you the answer. I'm about to give you the answer. I'm getting a lot of different answers in here. I'm loving it. I'm loving it. I'm loving it. Okay, here's the answer. 105,000. Some of you got it right. It's still $105,000. Wait a minute, but didn't you borrow 30,000? Yes. I have $100,000 earning me 5%, but I'm a wealth creator, so I don't actually spend my money. I just borrow against my money. Therefore, my money continues to grow as if I never touched it. And the best part about that is that truly is 105,000 because in my wealth creation fund, I don't pay any taxes on the growth or I don't pay any taxes when I take the money out. Somebody put some mind blown emojis in the chat if you are with me so far. So here's the thing, if my money is going to grow the exact same, whether I touch it or if I don't touch it. So if it's going to grow the exact, if I don't touch it or if I borrow against it, what do you think I should do? Should I borrow against it or should I not borrow against it? Should I borrow against it or should I not borrow against it? Absolutely. It's going to grow the same whether I borrow against it or not. So I might as well borrow against it. Now, here's the next question. If I do borrow against it, should I buy a liability or should I buy an asset? Yes. Now we thinking. Now we're thinking. So what am I going to do? I'm going to allow this money to continue to grow. It's going to compound every time that I put money in my wealth creation fund. It is now going to continue to grow as if I never touched it, even when I do borrow against it. It's a powerful thing. And what I'm going to teach you later is this is going to really blow your mind. Betty, I don't know where you at, but you got my grandmother's name. My grandmother's name was Betty. So I'm talking to you, Betty, right now in the chat because Betty had a question about taxes earlier. So I love this because this is one of the biggest ways that the wealthy would save money on taxes. Here's the deal. This is so great. If I borrow against it, my wealth creation fund, this is going to blow your mind. You don't even have to pay it back because the wealth creation fund is life insurance that I like to use, which means if I borrow from my policy, it's still growing as if I never touched it. And if I don't pay it back, it's simply subtracted from the death benefit when I die. And the death benefit is always much more than the cash that I have in the policy. Now, just because I don't have to pay it back doesn't mean that I shouldn't pay it back. I'm definitely going to pay it back because I want to increase my borrowing ability to borrow more in the future. But if I fall into hard times, no creditor is coming to get me. Nobody is coming to say, hey, you need to pay this back or else we're taking your house. None of that because your life insurance death benefit is your collateral. That's powerful. Can I get an amen on that? All right. So really quick, you all, cash. I'm going to show you something. Being a saver, the difference of being a saver and being a wealth creator. I'm going to show you right now. Now that you know what it means, you all are getting. But I used to charge my mentees $40,000 to get this information that you all are getting for free right now. So I hope you're not taking free for granted. Okay, so check this out. Let's just say I was saving $24,000 a year. Let's say I'm making 8%. And here's what I'm doing. I do this for over a 30-year time frame. But every 5 years, I spend my cash and I drain the tank. And every time that I drain my tank, remember, I have to rebuild it. So it takes me 4 years just to get my cash back to where it was. This is the red. This is what the red is, okay? This is the red. Now, what's happening is I'm saving, 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 and then I'm paying cash. I'm saving, saving, saving. And this is what most people do. They're going to keep saving, then they're going to pay cash, or even worse, they're a debtor. But what the wealth creator does is they do what I just taught you. They never stop the forward momentum of money. So that money continues to compound over and over. Let me show you how big of a difference this is. They didn't spend anything different. They didn't make any more money. They didn't save anything more. They just structured how they were saving differently. Okay. Instead of having 399,000, They have 2,960,301. So instead of having 399,000 that they have to still pay taxes on, they have 2,960 that they don't have to pay taxes on. Which one would you rather be? This is the power of being a wealth creator. So here's the deal. What if you can make the purchases without emptying your tank? This is going to allow your wealth creation fund to continue to grow. But if you don't use your capital, then whose capital do you use? We're going to use we're going to borrow against ourselves from a financial institution. So I'm going to explain that to you in just a second. Let me jump forward a little bit to explain it. So when you're looking for this wealth creation fund, what are some of the things that you're looking for? I'll explain that, Angela, in a second. Angela Arafat, just stick around. Tax deferred growth. You want tax deferred growth, which means you don't want to pay any taxes on the growth. You also want tax-free distributions, which means you don't want to pay taxes when you take the money out. You want a competitive return. You want high contribution limits. It'll be nice if you can deduct your contributions from your taxes. You want collateral opportunities, which means you want the ability to borrow against it. You want it to be safe. You want no loss provisions, which means you can't lose. You want guaranteed loan options, which means even if you lose your job, even if you're not making any money, no one can turn you down for a loan. You want unstructured loan payments, which means that you don't even have to pay it back. You determine when you can pay it back and if you want to pay it back. You also want liquidity, use, and control of your money. You don't want to have to wait until you're 59 and a half. You don't want to have to pay taxes when you need your money. You want liquidity, use, and control of your money when you need it. And you also want additional benefits. This is what we want. Now, many accounts could work as a wealth creation fund, but this is why I only use life insurance. Okay, well, what if I use my 401k? Couldn't you borrow from the 401k? Yes. Problem is there's only four benefits: tax deferred growth, competitive return, but it doesn't have any of those other benefits. In fact, you can only borrow up to a maximum of $50,000 or 50% of your 401k, whichever one is less. And if you don't repay it in 5 years, they're going to tax you. And if you're under 59 and a half, you're going to get hit with a 10% penalty. And if you lose your job or change jobs, guess what? They're going to still penalize you 10% and you have to pay taxes. It doesn't matter if you lose your job or get laid off. So I'm not using my 401k as a private reserve. Well, what about a home equity line of credit? Well, that only has two of the benefits. In fact, the only thing that has almost every benefit is cash value life insurance policies, but you have to know how to structure it appropriately. So, what I'm going to do is I'm going to teach you a 5 minute lesson on life insurance. And by the time that I teach you this, you're going to know more about life insurance than most financial advisors know about life insurance, or at least more than they're willing to tell you. Okay, this is where it gets really good, you all. Pay attention. It's going to change your life. I'm telling you, change my life. So let's just say I had a $500,000 death benefit. If I was going to get a $500,000 death benefit, there's a minimum amount that I can put into my life insurance policy. And there's also a maximum amount that I can put into my life insurance policy. I want you to put in the comments, who do you all think determines the minimum amount that it would take me to put into my life insurance policy? Who determines the minimum amount? Who do you think? Okay. I'm seeing a good mixture of me and a good mixture of the company, probably 50-50. The answer is the company, because the company knows exactly what it's going to take for them to be profitable. Next question. Who do you think determines the maximum amount that you put into your insurance policy? I'm seeing me. I'm seeing now a mixture between me and the government. The answer is the government. Now, why would the government be concerned with how much money you put into the policy? It's life insurance. Why does the government care? Why would the government care? There's only one reason why the government would care about how much you put into a life insurance policy: taxes. And the government wants their money. Okay. So, what the government did, so back in the old days, people would just pour almost all of their money into life insurance because it would help them to avoid taxes. So, the government what they did was they created a line in the sand called a MEC, right? So in the 1980s, what the government did was they said, we're going to start promoting qualified plans instead of life insurance. And basically, qualified plans is your IRA, your 401k, your SEP, your 403b. And when they came out with this, especially there was no Roths. So when they came out with this initially, um, what they did was they said, we want you to save in your 401ks and your IRAs tax deferred. But what you don't realize is that when you oversave in a tax deferred account, when you take that money out, you have to pay taxes, and the government can up the taxes. They use this as their savings account. So maybe you saved $100,000 and it grew to $1 million, and now they get to tax you on that entire $1 million, and they can raise the taxes. So the government is using your retirement savings as their tax account. Okay. So what they said was, if you overfund this insurance too much, it's going to be called a MEC. What a MEC means is a modified endowment contract. Essentially, what that means is, if you overfund this too much, now they can tax your life insurance the same way that they tax your IRA and 401k. So you have to structure this properly to avoid that. Okay. So if, let's just say I only had to pay $500 a year to get a $500,000 death benefit, or I can put in as much as $10,000 to get the same $500,000 death benefit. If I'm paying the least $500, what type of policy am I buying? Somebody tell me, what kind of insurance policy am I buying if I'm putting the least amount into that policy to get that $500,000 death benefit? That is called a term. Now, a term only has one benefit, and that benefit is the death benefit. It doesn't accumulate any cash value. And many people are surprised to know that the insurance companies make more on the term policies, because 98% of those policies are never executed. So if I'm going to put in $10,000 into a policy that I could have got for 500, it better be good, and it better have some good benefits. Well, this is a permanent policy, and if you structure it the right way, that extra money goes into your cash value, and you're going to get all of those benefits on that money that I mentioned earlier. Tax deferred growth, tax-free distributions, competitive return, high contributions, collateral opportunities, safe, no loss provisions, guaranteed loan options, unstructured loan payments, liquidity, use of control of your money, etc. Now, when you structure this policy, you have to structure it for the lowest amount of death benefit and the highest amount of cash value. So we're not buying this for life insurance. We're buying it. I mean, we're not buying this life insurance for death insurance. We're buying it for your life, so that you can use this while you're living. It doesn't have to be an either or. It can be a both and. Okay. So now tell me, I want you to answer this question. Tell me why most people, most advisors don't tell you about this, that you can buy a policy with the lowest amount of death benefit and the highest amount of cash value. Why do most of them structure your policy for the highest amount of death benefit and the lowest amount of cash value? Because if they structure it this way, they only get paid on the death benefit. So they're actually giving up about 70% of their commission. It is hard to get a man to understand something that their pocketbook depends on them not understanding, or that their wallet depends on them not understanding. Okay. And if they don't want to understand, why would these billion-dollar institutions teach their agents to lose 70% commission? How many billions of money would they lose? Okay. So I am an agent. I do have a company. I do have 26 people who I employ, including a lot of agents, that we set this up for you the right way every time, even though we take less commission, because we have such a big volume of people. We get over 120 people who meet with us every single week, because we have the volume to do so. And that's why we can charge less commission. Okay, very important. Now, that is a really quick lesson on life insurance, you all. Now, this is how it works when you're borrowing against yourself. So you're going to fund the policy, and we're going to teach you how to find the money so you can actually put the maximum amount that you can into it Many of you all have more money than you think you are. You're just misusing it. There are ways that we can help you find money that you're losing unknowingly. I've helped people to find on average $1,000 a month they didn't even know they had. So once you find that money and you put it into your policy, you're going to borrow against your policy from the insurance company. You're going to buy an asset. That asset that you buy is going to start making you money, and then you're going to pay back the insurance company that's going to reduce your loan. Now, remember, it's non-structured, which means if you don't pay it back, it's simply going to be subtracted from your death benefit plus interest when you die. But remember, we do want you to pay it back because we want to keep getting this borrowing pot as big as possible. And then you can do some of the things that I've done. Like I've been able to borrow from my policy to get a 76 unit real estate apartment building. I've been able to borrow from my policy to get a Lamborghini. So I'll show you that in just a little bit. But I want you to keep building this like a snowball and start the power of compound interest. Now, before I move on, don't go anywhere because I still got a couple things to teach. So you got to finish this webinar. We got some great information. I'm going to teach you all in just a minute how to become your own bank with real estate. And I got a special guest to teach you this. So don't go anywhere. You set about an hour and a half aside. We're going to respect that time, but I want to make sure that we teach you so many gems. But is it okay if I gave away one more thing to you for free before we move forward? Is that okay? All right. This is my favorite part. I love to help people and really put them into a better financial situation or help them to get there. So, as I mentioned, we have a few agents. That's the good news that we can actually help you. You can meet with our agents and we can counsel you on how to set up your policy the right way and how to become your own bank. And we can even help you find money that you're losing unknowingly and unnecessarily and hopefully recover some monthly money for you. So I'm going to set that up completely complimentary. But here's the deal, and I want you to take this serious. We only have 95 spots. We got 95 spots. There's 248 people in this room. So that means two things. Not everybody is going to get that consultation because only got so many advisors. We can only take up so many spaces. So if you know that you're not interested in really knowing about this and really growing into this, don't schedule. It's completely okay. But if you're serious about changing your financial life and actually growing, I do want you to schedule. But once they're full, the calendar will not even let you schedule. So we're going to drop that link. And once we drop that link, you got to click on it right away. It will not take you away from this webinar. And once you finish, I want you to come back into the chat and press the button done once you schedule your time. Is that fair enough? All right. So Michael, let's go ahead and drop the link in the chat. Remember, click on it, schedule your time as quickly as possible. And then I want you to come back into the chat and press done. And I'm about to teach you just a couple more things really quick that's going to change your life. This free webinar, you're getting more than you bargained for, you all, I promise you. All right. So all right, that was Tara. Tara was super fast. Tara said, I got mine already scheduled for next Monday. I love it, Tara. Keep it up, keep it up, keep it up. Okay, so the next thing that I want to do is I want to go ahead and show you some of the ways that I've actually used my wealth creation fund. Okay, so let me share my screen again. Oh, by the way, this is very important too. There's two different types of life insurance policies that you want to get. They both work differently. You have your index universal life and you have your whole life. They're both good for different reasons. The whole life is going to be good if you need to borrow your money quicker and you just want a fixed rate. The index universal life is going to be good if you want to grow it more and you can wait a little bit longer to borrow against it. Typically, you can borrow from your policy in as little as 30 days once you fund it. So this is what I've done with my policies. I bought this property, 76 unit property. This is my house in Atlanta. I do a lot of events at this house. It makes me money. This is very important. I pay about $10,000 a month. I rent this out for up to $3,000 a day. It makes me about $15,000 a month net profit. I was able to pay back my life insurance policy. I use this to trade options. I will borrow from my policy. It will continue to grow as if I never touched it. I'll trade options and leverage my money twice. This is my Lamborghini that I purchased. And hard money lending. You've heard of hard money lending. So what I do is that sometimes I'll loan out my money to people who are doing real estate. I will write their house as collateral, where if they don't pay me back, I could take their house. That has never had to happen. I get about 12% interest, and I'm making money on a life insurance policy at the same time as if I never touched it. Very, very powerful stuff that we have here. So leveraging life insurance has given me financial freedom, and I love it. Now, remember, you all, I told you earlier that thousands of my mentees have learned and they're going crazy. We got testimonials out the woodwork of people who I've helped. Marvin's the real deal, the best mentor that I've ever had. Marvin helped me make $330,000 in 3 months. I have begun to get a lot of national recognition for what I've been doing all over the United States, you all. I've helped 11 people become millionaires, over 100 people become six-figure earners. I've helped over 200 people quit their job, right? Or at least retire early. So I want you to imagine where you can be within 2 to 3 years, where you can be if you just follow my system that we have for you. Is it okay if I showed you how I can teach you the additional 5 levers? Remember, there were 5 levers. I only talked about one lever. I haven't talked about business credit. I haven't talked about your business. I haven't talked about trust. I haven't talked about real estate, really. I haven't talked about any of those things. But is it okay if I show you a class that I'm offering that can teach you all 5 of those levers in just 5 virtual days for like an hour a day? Is it okay if I teach you that? All right. Don't leave me now, because this is probably the most powerful part of the webinar. I'm actually about to show you how I can give you the blueprint, the step-by-step blueprint to not just the life insurance, but also what to do with the life insurance, how to get the assets, how to build your passive income, how to protect your assets with a trust. So this is probably one of the most important things that you can get. And I call this my 5-day Transform Your Wealth Challenge. And I'm about to go ahead and show you that really quick. Just give me 1 second here. All right. All right, you all. This is probably the best thing that I've ever done, because I wanted to do something that made ordinary people to have the ability to get this type of information. Okay. Somebody said I can't schedule an appointment. That may be, Betty, it may be already full. I don't know. It sounds like it's already full. There's a lot of people that's missing out. I told you the calendar was going to fill up. That wasn't me giving you any kind of false scarcity situation. We just tried. My team just said they just opened up a few more spots, so hopefully you can get in now. Try it again, Kareem. We just opened up just a few more spots. Okay. So check this out. This is my 5-day Transform Your Wealth Challenge. You're going to learn in these 5 days how to protect your wealth utilizing the same exact strategies as the ultra wealthy. And these are the same things that I've been teaching for years that have made me a national figure when it comes to wealth creation. So this is an exclusive Transform Your Wealth Challenge. Each day is a strategic move to help you dominate your wealth in your finance journey. Okay, so there's going to be 5 days. Again, this is virtual. This is either over Zoom or through a Facebook group, depending on what you get. So day 1 is going to be called the Wealth Creators Mindset. This is where we're going to help you to develop all of the ways that wealth creators think. We're going to help you to develop the mindset. We're going to help you to harness the power of life insurance to become your own bank. And we're going to position you on how you can control your own financial destiny. Day 2, we're going to teach you, I'm going to show you my policies. I have over 8 policies. I'm going to actually show you my policy so that you can learn how to structure your life insurance policies for optimal success, how to choose the right company, how to achieve the highest growth on your cash value. And we're going to teach you how to borrow from this to effectively purchase assets. Then number three, we're going to go deeper into how we can use life insurance to eliminate debt. Yes, you can utilize life insurance not only to buy assets, but you can also utilize life insurance to get out of being a debtor faster and become debt free if that's what you choose to do. And we can use it to buy assets. And then on day four, we're going to discuss ways that you can make money fast through the power of option trading. I love options trading. It goes perfectly with the life insurance. We're going to show you how you can. I've shown people how to take $1,000 and flip it to 5,000 really quickly. I showed somebody how to take 5,000 and flip it to $40,000 in 5 days. I mean, I was able to do that through the power of options trading, and I was able to teach them how not to use any of their own money, how to borrow money and do these options tradings and make their money still continue to grow while they were making money with the options. It's a very powerful thing. And then on day five, we're going to teach you how to own nothing and control everything, right? Own nothing and control everything means we're going to show you how to take assets out of your name and put it into a trust so that all of your assets are protected. And we're also going to show you how you can access up to $150,000 in funding to fuel your wealth building journey. How you can go out and build your credit and get the money right away. We're going to show you all of the places that you can go and get the funding to start your business, to buy your assets. All of these things we're going to teach you in these 5 days. So this is really going to be life-changing information, you all. So if you're ready to learn the opportunity to learn these things to change your financial life, I want you to type in the word now in the chat, N-O-W. I want you to type that in the chat if you are ready to learn how you can maximize what I just showed you and truly learn how to be a generational curse breaker. And it can happen this year. It doesn't have to take 30 years. It doesn't have to take 40 years. So this 5-day challenge is for you if and only if you feel capped in your income, you're always feeling overworked, and you cannot seem to break the wealth barrier. But maybe you believe you're doing well, but you believe that you're worth much more than what you're currently making. And maybe you're just concerned that your hard-earned money is just not working for you. You're not creating money babies. Your money isn't making multiple, your money isn't working 4 times off the same dollar. So if this is you, you are not alone. If you're sick and tired of your finances controlling you instead of you controlling it, you just don't know the money game. I want to help you discard all of the old things, all of the old ways you thought about money, all of the old ways you thought about doing business, all of the old ways you thought about your finances. And I want to teach you secrets of the 1%. That's you. That's you. This is your time. This is your season. And it's not super expensive. I'm not going to tell you about something that costs 30,000. I'm not even going to tell you about something that costs 10,000. I'm not even going to tell you something that costs 5,000. Not even 3,000. Not even 1,000. This is going to be crazy. I'm going to teach you all of this stuff for super, super inexpensive. So check this out. There's 3 different types of experiences. You got the platinum experience, the VIP experience, and the general experience. I recommend the platinum experience. I'm just going to shout this from the mountaintops because I know I make the biggest difference in the people who choose the platinum experience. And here's why. They're going to get 5 days of training with me in a small group. They're going to get a private Facebook community. There's going to be a pre-challenge kickoff party to get you motivated and ready to go. You're going to get an exclusive virtual hub that's going to have all these tools, all these resources. You're going to get a dedicated workbook that's going to help guide you through wealth creation and keep you accountable. You're going to have the ability to attend Q&A with me every single day for up to 30 minutes or even sometimes over 30 minutes per day, where I'm going to be able to answer your questions directly so I can help accelerate your growth. And you're going to get an exclusive workbook, Zoom background. And this is my favorite part. You're going to get a platinum only networking night, which means all of the people who chose platinum, you're going to be able to network with those people, which is going to help change your environment. And you're going to get a platinum only Telegram group. What does that mean? That means in that Telegram group, you're going to be able to have questions for me right away, as early as now, because you're going to go directly into that platinum group. And while you're waiting on the challenge to start, I can talk to you, answer your questions all the way through before we even get to the challenge to help you to accelerate your growth. Now, the total value of that, the platinum group, is $997. Today, if you join today, it's only $397 to get everything that I just taught you. And you get to keep the recording. So you don't even have to be live, although I recommend that you're live. But you're going to get the recording. So that is worth literally over $1,000, I promise you. The second thing that you could choose is the VIP experience. Now you get everything I just mentioned, but you do not get to ask questions to me in the Zoom room. You don't get the platinum only networking night because again, it's platinum only, and you don't get the platinum only Telegram group, which means you cannot ask questions right away. So you don't get the accelerated, but you still do get to see the questions. You just don't get to ask any questions, and you don't get the Telegram group. Now, if you do general, um, you don't get any of these things, but you do get to see what's happening in the Facebook group. You don't get the VIP, but you get the general lesson every day. And that is only, I'm sorry, the platinum is 197 and the general is 97. Okay, so I recommend the platinum for 397. So, couple of frequently asked questions for what level of people is this training? Do I have to have my own business? Do I have to have um, a lot of money? No. These principles are taught in this class. They're timeless, they're universal. So it doesn't matter if you're retired already, if you're 60, 70, if you're 20 or 30 and you're looking to build your wealth to the next level, these principles will still apply to you. If you have a business, if you don't have a business, it don't matter. These principles apply to you. What if I can't attend every day? Would there be replays? Yes, we get it. We know you can't attend every day. If you are platinum, you get to keep the recordings for an amount of time, even after the challenge. If you're general, you get to see the general session. And is this in person or virtual? This is virtual, so you can do it from the comfort of your home. So, with that being said, are we ready to drop that link? We do have 45 spots available. We got about 220 people in the chat, 45 spots available for today's call at a discount. Action takers or money makers? We want you to take action fast. So, Michael, go ahead and drop that link, and I'm going to shout your name out when you get yourself a ticket. And by the way, you all, we are not done. So for anybody who's dropped off, they're going to be missing out because this next lesson, we're actually teaching you how to become your own bank utilizing real estate. We haven't even taught you that yet. That's a free bonus that we're about to give you. So you don't want to miss that. But go ahead and click the link and get your ticket right now. And I'm going to go ahead and shout you out. I want to see who the fast action takers are. I got a surprise for the fast action takers. So let me see who the fast action takers are. All right. All right. I'm going to give y'all like 30 more seconds. Then I'm going to bring in my next speaker. So make sure you are taking action now. I want to shout you out really quick. All right. And I'm going to introduce my special guest in just a second here. All right. So remember, you all, couple things while we are waiting to bring up our special guest. She is in the room now, so we are ready. Couple things, you all. Action takers or money makers. Second thing that I want you to understand is if you're looking to go to the next level financially, what you got to realize is that you have something in your hand. You got a seed. I'm going to tell you why many people don't get ahead in life. I'm just going to be honest with you. If it's okay, if I can be fully transparent with you. Most people that I find, they're holding on to their seed, thinking that their seed is their harvest. And because of that, they never get the harvest. How can you get a harvest if you never plant the seed? Right? One of the things that I learned is that every single time I've invested in myself, every single time I've always been able to multiply it by 10. I've always been able to take any investment, plant a seed, and multiply that seed by 10. Why? Because I understand the power of sowing and reaping. Those who sow bountifully will also reap bountifully, and those who sow sparingly will also reap sparingly. So you have to be somebody who's willing to plant a seed. Where did we learn that? We learned that in the parable of the talents, right? You all remember the parable of the talents, where maybe some of y'all are not Bible readers, and if not, that's okay. But the parable of the talents, you all, this is where the master came and he gave three people talents. He gave one, two, and one, five. And he wanted them to multiply it according to their ability. The person that he gave one to, he was afraid that he would lose it, so he buried it in the ground. The one that he gave two to, he multiplied that two and turned that two into four. And the one that he gave five to, he turned that five into 10. Now the master left for a while and then he came back. When the master came back, the one that buried it in the ground, he said, "You wicked and slothful servant, you will be cast away where there is weeping and gnashing of teeth." He took the one from him and he gave it to the one who turned it from 5 to 10. Now let me ask you a question. Who was the hero in that story? Write it in the chat. Who was the hero in that story? This is biblical, you all. I want you to understand who was the hero in that story. Somebody write it in the chat. Somebody said the one that turned the 2 to 5, the one who turned to 10 talents, the one that turned it into 10. Okay, only three of y'all guess. Okay, 5 to 10. Okay, y'all want to know the answer? It's not the one who had one, of course. It's not the one who turned it from 2 to 4, of course. It's not even the one who turned it from 5 to 10, believe it or not. None of those three was the hero in the story. The hero in the story was actually the master. You want to know why? Because the master took his money and invested the same way I want you to invest in yourself. He invested and then he left. He was probably sitting on a beach, probably on vacation. He gave to each one according to their ability. And then when he came back to collect his money. The one that only turned, that didn't do anything with the one, he noticed it wasn't doing anything. So he cut his losses and he gave it to the one that turned it from 5 to 10. But you know what? His money continued to work passively even when he wasn't working. That's what I want you all to learn how to do. I want you to learn how to take your money, do good enough with it where you can invest that money. Then you can leave and you can enjoy your free time. You're not a slave to a job. You're not a slave to a business. You can leave and you can make your money work for you. And then you can come back and collect your money. And all you have to do is watch it diligently and move what's not working to what is working. That is called a wealth creator. The master was a wealth creator. That's what I want you to do, right? But you can't be a wealth creator if you're afraid to make an investment in yourself. So what I want to do is I want to recognize just a couple of people who took action. Then we're going to bring in our guest speaker. So the first person that took action, shout out to Rachel Carter Rivera. Rachel Carter Rivera. Rachel got platinum. And here's what I'm going to do for Rachel because she took action so fast. Rachel, you paid $397 for your platinum. I'm going to give you my $3,000 course absolutely for free. You're going to get my course. It's going to give you about 60 different videos. It's going to break down for you exactly how I became a wealth creator. It's going to teach you about the structure. It's going to teach you about everything. And you're still going to be able to keep the platinum ticket for the $397. So I gave you that as a bonus. You know why? Because I want to teach everybody that people who act now are money makers. Action takers are money makers. Now means no opportunity wasted. Too many people are procrastinators. And what I learned is that procrastination is the assassination of your destination. People who take action now, those are the people that win. Now means no opportunity wasted. Okay. The next person I want to, at the same time, so I'm going to go ahead and give it to you, Kareem Lovejoy. Kareem Lovejoy came in literally 10 seconds later. So I'm going to go ahead and give it to you. Kareem, I'm going to give you a $3,000 course as well. And then at the same time, same time we had Betty Rubb. I'm going to give the 397 course to Betty Rubb. So those three people that I'm giving the $397 course to because you all were fast action takers. And I'm going to give you the $3,000 course too. But here's what I'm going to do since I'm a giver. I'm going to give away one more of these, but I'm going to do a drawing. I'm going to bring up this last guest speaker. And then at the end of that, I'm going to do a drawing for everyone who's bought their ticket. And then I'm going to pull a name out of a hat essentially, and I'm going to pick one more person to win that $3,000 course. So if you haven't bought it yet, go ahead and buy it now. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring up my guest speaker, Coach Rosie, and she's going to show you all how to become your own bank with real estate. See, Coach Rosie, if we could bring Coach Rosie up. Coach Rosie is one of my, she was in my mentorship program for the last 3 years. She's actually like a mentor to me. She is a powerful woman. She's owned a daycare before. She's been able to sell that daycare. She is a silent assassin. She's been able to buy so much real estate, owning the notes and not the actual, and not having to go through the banks. This is a very powerful concept because she has been able to find out how to make people pay her not rent, but pay her as the bank. So I'm going to bring up a powerful person. She's part of Wealth Creators, Coach Rosie. How you doing, Coach Rosie? It's great to see you.
Hey Marvin, thank you so much. I am doing great. I'm happy to be here as usual. I absolutely love Wealth Creators and have been in the program, as Marvin said, for almost 3 years. Kudos to all of you people who are on tonight. I recall about 3 years ago being here just like you are. And but what I realized was I was already searching. And there's probably many of you who are on tonight who have been searching for answers, right? You've been looking for another way. You felt like this is not it. Like what I'm doing currently is not it. There has to be more to this than what I'm doing. And I was that person. I've been in business for myself for many, many years, almost 30 years. And I still was not satisfied. But what I realized is God was just calling me to do deeper, to go into the deeper realm of where he needed me to be. And I began to search. I started looking up wealth creators, not wealth creators, I'm sorry. I started looking up infinite banking. I had heard about it on a webinar that I was on, and I thought, what on earth is that? And I just started digging and seeking and searching and reading books. I would order books on Amazon, reading about it, but they never really told me how to do it. They talked about it, but they didn't share exactly how to start the process or who to contact, you know? And so what I discovered was as I was doing my search, I was on YouTube University one night and I ran into Marvin. And Marvin talked about it in depth. And I thought, wait a minute, what? It blew my mind. And from there, I realized that he had something like this, and I joined. And that very first night, it was the 5-day challenge. I joined that challenge. And I recall Marvin talked about success loves speed. And I thought, I'm ready. Like, I'm ready. I had already been seeking, like, what am I going to wait for at this point? Right. God says, the word of God says, you have not because you ask not. And I know many people have heard that scripture, but if you go and read that scripture, it says you have not because you ask not God. And I had already asked God for something new. What is it that you want me to do? And I joined the 5-day challenge. And the very first night, I put in the chat, can I join now? Like, I didn't need to hear all of the other stuff. I was ready. And Marvin said, nope, you can't join now. And all the folks that were on started putting in the chat saying, well, you said success loves speed. And he said, yeah, I said that, but I want to make sure that she understands everything, that all of you get what you came for. And I had to wait. And I tell you, it was difficult for me to wait 5 days to get to the end. But I was glad that I did. Why? Because I knew exactly what I was getting. I knew exactly what I was stepping into. I knew exactly what I needed to do, and I was ready. And so I'd like to encourage you tonight, if you're even somewhat similar to the person that I was then, I'd encourage you to make a decision that you truly want to change your life, and you want to do it not just for you, but for your family and for generations to come. So again, thank you guys, and kudos to you for being here tonight and just investing in yourself with the knowledge that you're going to gain. Now, I also came here to talk about how to become the bank in real estate. And I used to be a landlord for many years. I absolutely did not like being a landlord. I didn't like dealing with tenants, toilets, and sinks, and all the other things that came with being a landlord. And I was that person who, you trust someone until you can't trust them. And I would, rent the place out. And I rented to people who were single moms who had two children in their 30s, to the grandmother who was taking care of her three grandchildren. And honestly, I thought that the grandma was like going to be my golden ticket. She seemed so sweet. We went through the entire interview process. She was a Section 8 tenant, and I didn't think I would have any issues with her at all. And man, did she shock me. She was my worst tenant ever out of the 10 years that I've been renting to someone or being a landlord. She was my worst. The neighbors were actually calling, complaining because there was so much noise. They said to me, I think she's got like 10 people living there in the basement. And I'm thinking, what? And it turns out that she did. She was subleasing to other folks. She was leasing out the basement and had mattresses on the floor. And so I thought, oh my God, this lady, she's going to drive me nuts. It was difficult getting her out. I had to wait until her lease was up. And, supposedly she was going to get the people out, and you know how that goes, right? So, but I say all of that to say, I absolutely did not like being a landlord. And at the first opportunity, I got rid of that property. So years later, I'm talking to someone and they're talking about how to become the bank in real estate. And I'm thinking, what? Can you do that? And really, what it is this: it's actually finding a property just like you have found if you've ever been a homeowner. Put a 1 in the chat if you are a homeowner or if you're a landlord. Put a 1 in the chat for me. All right. I see you. TD, Jasmine, Lily, Herman. I see y'all. Tiana, LK, Kareem. Not yet. Okay. Amanda, I see you. Yes. So if you are a landlord, you understand exactly what I'm talking about. Now, if you are a homeowner, how many people believe that being a homeowner is a great investment? Put a 1 in the chat for me. If you believe that being a homeowner, I'm talking about your own private property, one that you live in, you reside in. If you think that that's a great asset, put a 1 in the chat. I see you, Ray, Herman, Deanna. Okay. Ashley, William, Christopher, Charles, Lisa. I see y'all. I think it's Kaylin or Keelan. All right. Isaiah, Kimberly. I see you said maybe. She said, Kimberly said maybe. All right, Curtis. Listen, the thing about it is, it's not a bad thing at all, right? It's a good thing. But we buy into the American dream of owning your own property, having that house with the white picket fence, right? And you have that home ownership. Now, what I'm talking about tonight is still basically doing that same thing, but I want you to be on the other side, because the traditional way of home ownership is we check our credit, we go through the banks, we go and look and see, what we can be approved for. We make sure our credit is good, right? And then we find a realtor or someone to, help us find a property, or maybe we find it ourselves. And then we go and we get that loan. We're pre-approved, we get the loan, and then they then give you that loan, you buy the house, you move in, and you get the keys. Put some words in the chat for how you think it feels, or the first time when you bought your own, or even if you haven't bought yet, what do you think you're going to feel when you do get it? Put some words in the chat to sort of explain that. Amazing, Kareem said. Absolutely. Absolutely. Kareem's the only one? He said amazing, blessed, signing my life away. Nia, exuberant, proud, accomplished. Yes, yes. Someone else said proud. Charles says accomplished. Yes, a milestone, someone said. Lily said proud as well. Listen, Ann Dickerson, she just said scary, right? Michael Simmons said just getting started, right? Excited and in debt. Excited. I love that, right? There's so many emotions that we go through when we are buying a property, right? But the thing about it is, what would your life look like if you had multiple streams of passive income supporting you? That's a question for you tonight. What would your life look like if you had multiple streams of passive income supporting you? What would it look like? Give me some words, because I want to be there right where you are, right? What would it look like for you? Less stressful, a dream, TD said. Freedom. I love that word, freedom. Yes, freedom, secure, stress-free, balanced. Leah, I got you. Better and blessed. Independence, legacy. I like that. The joy that you get, it's invigorating, debt-free. Listen, exactly. Those are the feelings that you would, the other emotions that you would get if you could find the passive income to help to support the lifestyle that you desire to live, right? And so, what dreams and goals could you actually achieve if you didn't have to trade hours for dollars anymore? What goals could you achieve? What dreams? What are some things? What are you thinking? You would travel, Sonia said. Absolutely. Financial freedom, Christopher. Debt free for me and my children, Leah. Early retirement. Hey, you're on my track. Traveling, gardening, taking classes. I love that, Betty. Yes. These are all the things. See the world young. Keelan must be young. Live in another country. Investments. I like that. Because you know what? It's absolutely possible. It is absolutely possible. And I said the scripture a little while ago. We have not because we ask not who. We ask not God, not other people. We ask not God. Ask God. He said, ask and ye shall receive. Knock, the door will be open. Seek, you will find. I told you I was seeking. I was looking for what it was that I felt in my spirit that God was like telling me, right? And I kept looking for that thing. Seek and you'll find. That's right. And so the thing about it is this: once you start to put things in motion, is when you begin to move forward. All right. So real estate itself has been the number one way for the wealthy people to get wealthier. And that's been forever. Real estate, number one way. And so the way to wealth, or the way that the actual wealthy think about money and the way that they leverage money is different from the way everyone else does it. So most people think that when they think about real estate, they actually think about buying and becoming a landlord, right? Well, I'm gonna buy a property and I'm gonna rent it out, right? The wealthy, they think about how they can buy it and it becomes an asset to them so that they don't have to do a lot of work. Now, I'm not saying that they don't rent, because absolutely they do, but they usually buy in multiplexes, right? So they're not buying necessarily, which they will, but single properties, they're buying multiple properties, right? So an asset is something that actually puts money in your pocket. And a liability is something that takes money out of your pocket. Everybody got that? So an asset puts money in, a liability takes money out. Now, when you bought your home that you currently live in, do you think it's an asset or a liability? Is it putting money in your pocket, or is it taking money out of your pocket? Let me hear from you. Is it an asset or a liability? And I know somebody might say both, right? Liability. Someone, Leah said both. A liability. Yeah, because we feel that, right? When you get that paycheck and every month you gotta pay out, like money is going out the door. You got to do all the renovations and fixing the property and a new roof or shingles or whatever it might need. Flooring needs to be done, right? So it's kind of taking money out of your pocket, right? And listen, the American dream says this. It says buy, become an owner. But the truth of the matter is, most people take out a 30-year mortgage on their property. 30 years. 75% of folks choose a 30-year mortgage, fixed rate usually. 75% of folks. And so you're paying for the house for 30 years if you decide to live in it. And get this, when you do that, money is going somewhere, right? It's going to the bank. So that money that you're putting out there, the bank is getting that to pay on the principal of the property and the interest. Now, which do you think they're going to get first, the interest or the principal? Which one is the bank interested in first? The interest or the principal? The interest. Say it again and again and again and again. Absolutely. They want the interest on that money. Absolutely, they want the principal, but they want their money up front, which is the interest that you're going to pay on that loan that you're taking out for the next 30 years. So conventionally, most loans, people are getting over 76% of folks are choosing conventional loans, which means they're going to a banking institution to actually take out a loan. Now, how the banks work? Interest, right? They're looking at that interest. But who decides the terms of the loan? Who decides the terms? Is it you or the bank? Is it you or the bank that's going to decide what the term of that loan is going to be? That's right, Kimberly, the bank. Betty, the bank, absolutely. The bank says, this is what we're going to, the government, right? The bank says, this is what we're going to charge for interest. You get to choose a little bit, but we've already set it up for you. So you could choose 10, 15, 20, or 30 years. Choose one of those, right? So it makes you feel like you have a choice, but you really don't because they've already set it, right? The guidelines have already been set. So they get to choose all of what you are about to endeavor in. You just get to choose whether or not you want to do it or not. And in most cases, because we want that feeling of accomplishment and, to be proud of ourselves, and we go out and we do this, right? So now you've gotten that loan, now you're feeling great. What's really happening? You're actually stacking money into this home loan, right? Money every month is going into this home loan. The problem is, who's getting it? The bank and not you. Well, I want to show you how to flip that. So being that 90%, I should have said this, 90% of homeowners are going to choose a 30-year term. 90% will choose a 30-year term. The banks are like jumping for joy, right? They're jumping for joy. Why? Most people want to save $100 a month on that mortgage if they possibly can. And then what they do is they'll say, well, in some cases, they'll say, we'll take that extra $100 and just make an extra payment a month of $100, right? So if their payment was $1,000, they're going to increase it and they want an extra $100 to go towards their principal each month. And be careful, because if you don't tell them that, it won't go towards it. All right. So this is the thing. So now what's happening is this, and I want to show you something because it's so powerful. I want to show you, why the banks are saying, hey, pick me over here. I want to work with you, right? I want to show you that. So I want an opportunity to share my screen, if you don't mind. I'm going to share my screen. Is it all right if I show y'all something? Because I think that it's extremely important. I want to show you these numbers because this is why the banks are so excited. See if I can find it here. Here we go. All right. So this is actually an amortization schedule. All right. So this is what the banks use. And when you buy a property, you should get an amortization schedule. But this here's the calculator, and I'll show you probably the schedule in a second. But this is the calculator. So let's say you found a house and you're going to buy this house, or you're going to do what I do. You're going to be the bank, and someone else is going to borrow from you. You have this house that you want to sell at $250,000. Now, the person is going to give you $50,000 down payment. All right, cash money, 50,000 in your pocket as the bank. You're going to then finance the additional amount, which is 200,000. All right. You're going to give them a 30-year, because 90% of folks choose that. So we're going to go with that. The interest rate right now is about 6.44% or so. So let's just say we stick with that. All right. Their first payment is going to start October of this year. Now, for the remainder of the year, they're going to pay you a little over $1,200 a month. All right. The interest during that 12-month period, or I'm sorry, during that 30-year period, interest only that they have paid is over $250,000, interest only in 30 years. How much did we say that house cost? The loan was 250 the house cost was 250 altogether, but they financed 200 of that. So they've already in 30 years superseded the $250,000 on the principal, correct? So the total amount on this loan is over $450,000 that the bank just received for this $200,000 loan. Now, I don't know about you guys, but put a fireball in the chat if you would like to be the person collecting this interest. Put a fireball in the chat if you would like to be the person. I see you, Kareem. Right, Cindy. Yes, absolutely. And when I found out that this was something I could do you not think that I jumped on the bandwagon? Absolutely. Because this was better than white bread. Like, I love white bread, whether it comes in a roll format or whatever. I love white bread. So listen, this is why it is so exciting. You can become the bank in real estate by doing the same thing that the banks do. Now, what I want to show you here is the schedule. Look at this. Here's the schedule. So, okay, the first payment is October. So we only have October, November, and December, right? 3 months left in the year. But here we are. In principle, on that $1,200, I believe we said it was, correct, $1,200, they pay principal $366 and some change in 3 months. The interest that they paid is over $2,100. The remaining balance on that loan is still $199,000. So let's look at 2025. They would have paid $2,600 in principal, almost $15,000 in interest, and the principal on that loan is still $197,000. So let's go we're in 2024. Let's go about 5 years. Let's go to 2028. Look how much they've already paid in interest, $52,000. Now, on average, most people will keep their home for at least 10 to 12 years. I'm sorry, 12 to 13 years before they actually refinance or sell and move or whatever they had to do. All right. So let's just go down 10 years, 24. Let's do 34 here. They would have already paid $121,000, almost $122,000 in interest in that 10-year period, right? That they would have already given to the bank before they refinanced. And remember, they already gave $50,000 in a down payment. Does that make sense to anyone? Does that show you? I see you, Dinah. Is it Dinah? Yes, I see you. What does principal mean? Principal is the initial amount that you're taking out for the loan. That's the principal loan. All right. So this is why, so guess who can do the same exact thing that the banks do? You can. You find a property and you finance it to someone and you charge the interest and you set all of the terms. You make that decision, allow them to pay you every month, and they get to own the property and feel proud and accomplished and scared, but wonderful, right? Because they're now feeling like they're living the dream just like everyone else. And get this, you get to control the actual note, the paper now. You no longer are in charge of the property. Who takes care of the property? Because they bought it, right? They take care of the property, the roof, the leaky sinks, the toilets, and anything else that comes with that house, because they'll never call you up, the bank, to say, hey, my roof is leaking. I need you to come out and fix it. Because you are now all hands off. So put a fireball in the chat if this is something that you would love to learn how to do, just like I've done for some years now. I see you. I see you. Siobhan, Lisa, fireballs. That's right. And that's what you get to learn how to do in this program. One of the things, that's only one thing that you learn how to do in this program. So Marvin, thank you so much. Thank you guys for listening. I totally appreciate you.
Thank you, Coach Rosie. That was amazing. And Coach Rosie, as amazing as she is, hopefully many of you have not heard the last of her, because she will be a part of the 5-day challenge as well, teaching you even more on becoming your own bank through notes, which is what I love. So you're getting me, you're getting Coach Rosie, and sometimes Coach Rosie will show up for the Q&A. You're also getting my option trading specialist to teach you during this 5-day challenge. And you're also getting our credit specialist to show you how to get up to $150,000 in funding. So we're going to give you every single thing that you need to be able to really rebuild your financial situation. So put some fireballs in the comments one more time for Coach Rosie. Let me see you put some fireballs in the comments. Coach Rosie is amazing. So while you all are giving Coach Rosie some fireballs, I'm going to give you all one last opportunity to get your ticket. Let me go ahead and shout out a couple of people who recently bought a ticket to this 5-day challenge. All right, you all, we got a few of you. We only got a few more spots left. So that's an amazing thing. We talked about Tara already. Rachel, Kareem, Ladale, Amari Grace, Betty, Lee Clark, Curtis Bell. Shout out to TD, Sepana, Sydney Noran. By the way, these are platinum. Sydney is platinum. Cindy Fletcher, VIP. Annette Russell, platinum. Charles T, platinum. Ladella Robles, again, VIP. George Dingus is platinum. Shout out to you. Shout out to Kent Roberts, platinum. Charlene Hill, platinum. Shout out to Michael Simmons, VIP. Deanna Hope Felix. Shout out to Lisa Marshall Hunter, VIP. And we're about to do a drawing in just a second. We also got Catherine Arnold, platinum. Ashley Joyner, VIP, and many more. So we got Jasmine Hurt, platinum. So we got a few more spots left. So let's go ahead and drop the chat. Drop the link in the chat. Remember, you all, you're getting to learn about real estate, options trading, becoming your own bank through life insurance. I'm giving you the step-by-step blueprint in 5 days for you to go out and this year begin to make a difference in your life. From September until December, and for the rest of the year, hopefully, of next year, 2025, build all of the financial pieces to get everything together so that you can be rich, not just with money, but rich with time and not be poor. What does poor mean? Passing over opportunities repeatedly, right? And what's so interesting is that there are some people in this room who have college educations and you have paid $30,000, $40,000 a year to learn things in school that you didn't learn about financial literacy. You didn't learn how to be rich. You didn't learn how to be wealthy. You didn't learn how to be a wealth creator. I'm teaching you for $397 what you didn't learn in school for 12 years before college, throughout college, and maybe even grad school. Some of y'all are still paying back student loans right now. And I'm going to teach you this for as much as $397. So you don't want to miss that opportunity to take advantage of this. So you all have a couple of minutes to do this, and then we're going to do a drawing. So first off, shout out to Ron Desser for getting your platinum ticket. Shout out to Ron for saying, look, I'm not missing out on this. So the way it works, you all, is you're going to get text, you're going to get email, you're going to get a link. You're going to be able to join that link exclusively for the platinums. You're going to be able to do Q&A with me, Coach Rosie. We're bringing in our specialists also to teach you how to utilize this life insurance to get out of debt fast. So whether you're a debtor, whether you're a saver, or if you are looking toward being a wealth creator, which I hope you all are, this is for you. Let's see. Let me see. One last thing, you all, before I conclude and we do the drawing. I do got to tell you all that if you got big dreams, and hopefully you all have big dreams, this is your opportunity to put a line in the sand and say, I know I need to do something. I know that my people are destroyed because of their lack of knowledge. That's the only reason why our people are destroyed. They just don't have the knowledge. Once you get the knowledge, you can be on the same playing field. See, the only reason why I was able to become a multimillionaire is because I was able to get exposed to information that many people are never exposed to. I was able to get exposed to environments. I was able to be exposed to certain rooms. That's it. That's it. That's the only reason. So let me show you all something really quick while I'm waiting on some more of our people to come through. Shout out to Sonia Shockley for getting her VIP pass. I got to show you all something really quick. So this is what I'm about to show you right now. Look, you all, people pay me thousands and thousands of dollars just to have the opportunity for me to talk to them over lunch. And I'm sitting with you for 5 days. Anytime you have the opportunity to pick the brain of somebody who is a multimillionaire, you want to do it. But I know what you're all are thinking. You probably are thinking, man, how do I know he's really a multimillionaire? How do I know he's not capping? How do I know that he's real, that he's the truth? How do I know? You know, I get it. See, I live in St. Louis, Missouri. I don't know if you all know this. The state of Missouri is called the show me state, where people are like, you got to show me. You can't just tell me. And I get it. So, first off, share my screen really quick. Okay, so this is my QuickBooks, as you can see. This basically is going to expose my company's financial data. You'll see Compass Retirement Group, my financial firm, Wealth Creators, my Compass Real Estate Solutions, Digital Domination, Mamba Marketing Group. Let's see, where is Mitchell Retirement. Let me go back to active companies. Mitchell Retirement Group, Mitchell Enterprise Group. These are all my companies. So I have several LLCs. To show you one company. See here, Marvin Mitchell, Mitchell Retirement Group. Now I'm going to show you, click on reports, and this is called a profit and loss statement. So I'm going to show you just one of my companies. And what you will see here, this goes from January the 1st up until September the 4th, 2024. So as you can see, total income, 5,551,448. So you see marketing, media, TV, radio, all of these things. These are advertising that I pay for, etc. But then, Carl, I do teach you inside of the 5-day challenge about all of my business structures and how I structure my business and how I save taxes in my business as well. That's going to be part of the 5-day challenge. So if you look right here, this is going to show you all of my expenses. Total expenses, 1,950,166 during that time. But what I like is net operating income. What does that mean? Profit, 2,676,540. So why is that important? Yes, we do take credit card calls, so you better take advantage of this now. Why do I show you profit? Because a lot of people, they'll cap you and tell you that they're a millionaire, that they're making $1 million, but really they may be making $1 million, but they also might be spending $1 million, which means they really don't have any money. What I'm showing you is a profit margin of 60% in a net operating income of 2,676,540. This is with the expenses. Okay. So you got somebody who has built a true multi-million-dollar business, and that's just one of my companies, right? If I went to, how do you work? How do you even go? Oh, there we go. I just pressed something, didn't want to press. Okay, so if I click here and I go to, let me switch companies really quick. So if you all haven't gotten your ticket, I highly recommend you getting your ticket. You get your ticket because you're talking to somebody who is credible. Let me switch companies, and I'm just going to show you this really quick. Compass Retirement Group. So the thing I like about this company is that there's no expenses because this is my passive income that comes in every single month. Passive income. You'll see here, money coming in, no expenses. So if I go to report, look at my profit and loss. Look at this. Income, $507,000. Expenses, $1. $1. And that's only because I had to verify my credit card for something. No expenses. Why? Because the only thing that comes into this account is my passive income. So it's amazing. So I can show you, I have 3 companies that have generated over $1 million. Okay. And this is what I'm going to be teaching you in this 5-day challenge. So you can think that something is a scam if you want to, but I'm going to tell you this. Scam means still confused about money. Because if you're not where you want to be in your financial goals, I hate to tell you this, but you've already been scammed. You've been scammed by the system that have taught you that the only way to get ahead is to go to school, get an education, save in your 401k, and get a pension and get Social Security. That's the biggest scam in the world. I'm trying to reveal to you life, real life. So do me a favor and drop the link one more time, and then we're going to give them one last chance to go ahead and get their ticket. All right, this is it. This is your last chance. I'm going to give you 2 minutes, and then we're going to go ahead and pull a name out the hat. So I'm going to go ahead and give you your 2-minute warning. Don't be that person that says, I wish I met him 10 years ago. You're meeting me right now. So you're not too old, you're not too young. This is it. This is the final countdown. Shoes. Yep, we will reach out to you, Kareem, if you got the $3,000 course. Jeopardy. All right. Stop sharing my screen. All right. So that is a wrap. I want to give a shout out to a few more people that got their order in at the last second. Mentioned Sonia Shockley getting her VIP pass. Shout out to Kimberly Rule for getting your VIP pass at the last minute. Shout out to Karina Clark for getting a platinum ticket right at the deadline. Shout out to Cedric Harris for getting his platinum ticket right at the deadline. Shout out to Jamisha Gore for getting your VIP. And a couple of you just told me you're still working on it. So hurry up and go ahead and get it right now. But what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and pull a name out of the hat. So, Michael, have we picked a winner yet?
Yep, we do. We got one winner. Shout
All
out to
right.
everybody who working on getting in. But this winner here are you ready for me to announce it, Marvin? What do you think?
Yes, sir. Let's
All
go.
right,
Go
cool. The
ahead.
winner of the last course is Charlene Hill.
Charlene Hill. Do we have Charlene in the building?
We do. There she is.
I don't even see it. Charlene. Okay. Congratulations, Charlene. You win a $3,000 course. And Charlene is looking like, I don't care. Why you pull me up on this screen? But congratulations, Charlene. You get our $3,000 course as well. We will get that sent out to you. And those of you who won, don't worry about how you're going to get it. Our team is going to reach out to you. We have your contact, your email, your information. We're going to get that to you as well. So I recommend so those of you who or have joined the 5-day challenge, congratulations to you all. We will see you in the 5-day challenge. And those of you who still want to go ahead and purchase, drop the link one last time. We'll give you all a few minutes and we're going to leave out. We'll give you a few more minutes to go ahead and get your ticket. Those of you who are platinum, I will see you in the Telegram group. And you can find out the next date of the challenge by going to transformyourwealthchallenge.com. Click on that link as well, and it will tell you the next date as well. So I'm very excited. Congratulations. And for those of you who could not get a ticket, keep going, you all. I still believe in you. I know you got some great things that you're going to accomplish as well. So hopefully you enjoyed this information anyway. With that being said, God bless you. And on the count of 3, I'm going to say dominate. 1, 2, 3. Dominate.
Dominate, dominate,
Hi,
dominate,
baby.
dominate.
Don't get mad.
Dominate,
Hey,
dominate,
hey, how you doing?
dominate.
Hey.
Hi.
Amazing.
Did you say
Dominate, baby,
hi, Gim?
dominate.
Zoom.
Dominate, baby.
Oh, really?
We're on the next round. Dominate.
You talked to Graham?